Hello, everybody, and welcome to Knights of Eveningstar, a D&D show here on Wizards D&D Twitch. That's the one. We're on that. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mark SherlockHulmes, and it's good to be back. We're sorry we missed you last week, but we're back. We're ready to play Dungeons & Dragons, and I am, of course, joined by my wonderful players. I am joined by the wonderful Mica Burton, Anna Prosser, Nate Sharp, and Jonathan Indovino, a.k.a. ShadyPenguinn. A good day. Yes, Anna.
I need a supercut of all of the transition noises Mark has made to us.
I always do it. I
know.
It's just a
I
thing.
need it. I need that supercut.
Somebody will make it. If anything's to go by, the internet loves supercuts of things.
That's so true.
And it's inevitable with Eveningstar as well, I'm sure. Somebody out there has probably made the nobles of Eveningstar have one brain cell between them supercut. You know, I'm sure that exists somewhere. So yeah.
It's funny because it's true.
It's funny because it's true. Well, my dear friends, welcome. I didn't have any major special announcements unless there's something I've forgotten to mention, specifically Anna and Mica, who often remember these things more than I do.
Nope.
Nope, I'm good.
What if I chose to remember something this time, Mark? What if I
you want to?
decided?
Well, do you have anything, Shady?
Let's play D&D.
Yep, that sounds good. Yep, okay, that sounds great.
Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella is now up on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I forgot
The
about
most
this.
important
announcement, yes.
of them
I'm
all.
sorry. Brandy Cinderella is now on Disney Plus. I will watch it as I've never seen it before, and I've been told it's very good, so I will watch it. The only thing, I'll probably mention this at the end, but if you want to see a very cool D&D thing, make sure you check out some stuff I'm going to be doing next week as well. I've got a cool thing to talk about at the end of the stream. But before then, let me give you a little recap on what happened in the last episode of Knights of Eveningstar. It has been a week. We did take a little week break. We had some poorly peeps, but now everyone's better and we're ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons. With Clive of the Wildmane had sought out the nobles of Eveningstar to assess them and their people on behalf of the Fey Courts, our nobles take some time to settle after the dramatic events in Red Spring. Azara spends time deep in prayer, learning more about the goddess Peña, who has called out to Azara's spirit and begun to help shape it in faith and prayer. She teaches Azara the first of her tenets: embrace the freedom of the winds. Do not let yourself be bound by chains, be they of steel, of law, or of heart. And encourages her to do more and to learn more about her in general. Tarkhal somberly informs young Aaron of Marcel's departure, but tells him that Marcel will return one day and expects Aaron to have improved his combat skills. With Clive beside him to show Aaron a few maneuvers, the group bond and dispel Aaron's sad mood. Dusk informs Agnis of events around Cormyr, including the increasing tensions with the Feywild and with Davian Cormoril, whom the party have clashed with previously. He also presents a letter sent by a fellow noble with an offer of gold in exchange for their adventuring services. Dagmar Ironeyes, the local mason, also tells the party of a silver mine that must be investigated, and scouts report strange events happening in the northern mountains, with a large band of orcs massing around a floating tower. The party decides to complete the noblewoman's request first, and then follow up on the other matters. And after speaking with her dragonborn wizard, the party prepare themselves to head out. And I would just like for somebody, doesn't matter who, what do you guys remember exactly what your mission is, that this job you have undertaken? Oh yes, Azara, hand up. I like it.
You're muted, Mica.
I am muted. We are to go to these haunted ruins, which are called the Haunted Halls, to find a lantern made of onyx stamped with a shadowed moon behind a mountain, and it is ruby studded. There is also a store of potions in the castle, possibly a potion of youth, which we have not determined if we are to bring it back for ourselves or for the dragon
Selling
and the noble lady, because we'll get extra money. And not much is known about these haunted halls, other than they are haunted, supposedly, and were abandoned by Lady such and such, so-and-so, stuff and stuff. I should have written that down, but I didn't.
Sure. You didn't write that down. There's a vague memory there of something about, it wasn't this noble woman specifically. It was a long time ago. It was something to do with her family and something that happened a long, long time ago. But yeah, some mystery, which is why adventurers are being sent to go in there because, you know, the dragonborn wizard who you spoke to did kind of mention that, yes, there may be some elements of danger because nobody really knows what's happened there. So
I take notes now.
Excellent. I love it. I am a big fan of note taking, and that will come in handy later on, as I do like to spring it on you. I'm just trying to remember the name of the Melodonus was the name of the black dragonborn that you spoke to.
Yes, he was cool. We're friends now.
And I believe you had stocked up on some potions from Hulda. But apart from that, unless there is any preparations, we can just have you guys on the road if you prefer.
Yeah.
Any arguments, Clive? No? All right.
I wrote the potions down. We have 1 healing potion. We have 2 regular healing potions, 1 greater healing potion, and 1 potion of strength.
And I believe you are carrying all of those at the moment, Azara. Because
last time you said if I didn't write them down, I didn't have them.
Very, very much so. If it's not in D&D Beyond or you don't have it written down,
it's on
you
a
don't have
post-it
those
note.
items.
I'll put it on D&D Beyond, though. So you
in the same way that, like, right now, if Azara is the one who has them written down, Azara is the one with those items. So that is something to keep in mind. Generally, in terms of, and I'm not just saying this because I expect you to have any trouble. For me, I always do potions as you can drink a potion yourself as a bonus action. Feeding a potion to somebody else is an action. And handing an item to somebody else is an action. You have to physically bring the item out and give it to somebody is an action as well. So if you want to trade potions around. Yes.
If I cast Magic Hand or Mage Hand to float it over to somebody, that's an action.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that. So you could use a mage hand to deliver a potion at range. Obviously, there is danger if the mage hand somehow got disrupted. It might drop the potion and stuff like that. But
right. But if I'm like not within reaching distance, that's cool.
Dope. Cool. Okie dokie. In that case, we begin. You guys set out. Are you just heading out on your own? Are you leaving things like your knights and things like that to just keep an eye on Eveningstar? You're not taking anybody with you. You just want to basically head out the adventuring band that you are? Or is there any other preparations you guys want to make? Just because once you head off, obviously, we'll just crack on. So,
are Clive's friends coming with us?
No.
Okay. It makes sense. They are perhaps not as powerful as Clive. They're not as trained warriors. They're good in kind of leading units or like messing with military lines, but against things like monsters, they are not as expertly in combat. They're a military unit, similar to the Tressims and Ilyssa's Knights and things like that. So they function the same way.
I'll tell them to like keep surveying the town, take notes.
Yep.
All that.
Yep. Ilyssa as well will basically have her troops patrol. You know, there are these reports of increased Feywild attacks. So, you know, Eveningstar is on alert, and so they don't really want to divert too many troops away. So the 4 of you set out. You travel for about a day. You head down the high road, which stretches along northern Cormyr and connects the great city of Arabelle through Eveningstar, and then
the high road, you say?
The high road, indeed.
I'll take it.
You will take the high road, and luckily the low road is very, very far away. No one need to take the low road. The high road weaves its way through the northern plains of Cormyr, past orchards and farmers' fields, and all the while to the south is the Kingswood, this immense, great, ancient forest that Tarkhal, you know very well. Agnis, you would have spent some time in when you were training as a druid, but it is this kind of heartland of Cormyr. And to the north are the Stormhorn Mountains, these great grasping peaks that stretch up on the skyline, very faintly dusted with snow at their top. And based on the information that Melodonus gave you and the information you have from just local awareness, the Castle Braewinter, aka the Haunted Halls, as the locals call it, is about a day and a bit's travel. You make your way through without really much incident, traveling along the high road. It's well patrolled. It's well guarded by the Purple Dragon Knights. They keep regular kind of patrols on there, so there's no fear of bandits or monsters. you weave your way through. You probably have to camp out overnight at one point, having brought various things with you. There aren't any settlements between Eveningstar and where the halls are. There is a small village called Collinwood, but it's maybe about a half day's more travel into the Kingswood. So it's probably easier to just camp on the roadside. And there are even like sections like fields that have been stationed off for travelers to park up wagons, pitch tents, things like that. These kind of like camping grounds where people do stay overnight along the high road. If you would like to set a watch, you may do so. And whoever is taking watch can make some perception checks.
I think I'd like to take watch.
Sure.
I don't have passive perception like some of y'all.
Yeah. So if you are camping out on out in the wilderness, generally you will need to have two people take watch, one for the first watch and the other for the second half. And if there are any preparations, spells, or anything like that that you would like to cast beforehand, then that's fine too. But if Tarkhal, it sounds like you'll take the first watch, and then somebody will need to take the second. I will remind the elves, in the full elves in the group, not half elves, but full elves, because of your trance, you are awake for the second half. So one of you can easily keep watch on the second half of a watch as well.
Agnis will
you
do
don't need
it.
to sleep. Sure, Agnis. Okay. So in that case, let's have the Crownsilver siblings. Tarkhal, if you can give me a perception check, and then Agnis, if you can give me a perception check.
15.
15. Okay.
15. Twins.
15.
Twins.
10s. Okay. The night is not especially cold, as summer is just around the corner, but it is a clear night sky. There are no clouds. And so as you camp out with these kind of royal tents that you've brought with you from the keep, the stars glitter overhead. You see these sparkling constellations drifting with very little cloud cover to obscure them. The pale light of the moon shines down and casts the countryside in this kind of very delicate, pale, silvery light. But you do not have any troubles. The watches are quiet and peaceful as the others rest and sleep beside you. Tarkhal, there is probably for at least a little brief period, the small brooch that you wear, the green emerald, almost seems to give off the scent of wildflowers and this kind of pleasant breeze that seems to kind of almost surround you as you do so. And then when you take over from Agnis, for you, I imagine there is a stillness which is comforting, a little boring, but comforting, and the stars kind of blazing overhead. They are like little fires up in the sky that cast down. But you wake in the morning, none the worse for wear.
And having taken a long rest, right?
And having taken a long rest. Yeah, indeed.
Nice.
Long rest.
I
no
sure like
issues.
those.
Mm-hmm. About just a few hours after you awake, off the main road, a very worn trail begins to lead north towards the mountains. And judging by the kind of instructions you were given, this is the road that will take you as close as you can get via any sort of path or road to Castle Braewinter, or the Haunted Halls, the same place. The road is incredibly overgrown, not well trodden. It's been unused for hundreds of years. You can even just barely make out like cobblestones beneath grass and mud that's been grown over weeds and bushes and shrubs that have kind of obscured it, leaving just the very faintest trail of this pathway that leads to the north.
I look to Azara for direction, since I feel like she's had all these notes, so I think Agnis feels like she understands what we're doing the best. So she's like, what's next?
Do I have a sense of where I'm going? Like,
Yeah,
that this is correct?
Speaking with Melodonus, he gave you pretty clear instructions and directions, consulting Cormyrian maps that you have. It's not hard to find this place. But looking at the terrain, Agnis, I'd say with your passive perception, and Azara with your preparation, yeah, this place is really abandoned. Like, this is good land. There's no farms. You don't see any signs of people attempting to use this land. It's been left to the wilds, which is unusual.
seeing as this land is so barren but so easily usable, I'd say something horrible is out there. So keep on your guard.
Okay. You guys begin following this trail. About 10 miles from the castle, you see it. It's actually built high up into the mountains. Very defensible, accessible over a bridge which crosses the Starwater River that cuts through these mountains and into the Tempest Valley. This swift-moving, ice-cold river. It actually passes through Eveningstar, but it winds its way through these mountains and these valleys. And Castle Braewinter sits embedded in the mountains up high with this long bridge which crosses over the river towards the castle's gates. But the castle, it's odd, Azara, when you get within about 10 miles of this place, it's mid-morning and it's getting darker. The closer you get to this place, the ambient light is getting lower, as if, sundown were coming. The ambient light around it seems to diminish. You can see the outline of the castle, but it's almost near black in the kind of gloom of these mountains. You can just about make out the shape of the towers, the walls, the bridge, but really no detail. It's like looking at a shadow. You can see, just before the river, about sort of like 9 miles up ahead, there are a couple of like ruined buildings and what appears to be a stairway carved into the mountains that lead up to the bridge that connects to the castle. But there are also some buildings at the very sort of like banks of the river as well. That's about 9 miles ahead.
Well, we all have dark vision, I believe, just to point that out, right?
But is this a magical darkness?
I was about to say,
Also, does Clive have dark vision?
He does.
Okay, that's fine.
Somebody was smart and finally did this. I'd like to cast Detect Magic. I know! I learned!
Whoa.
I know.
Big brain.
Big brain time.
That's pretty big brain. So, and you're casting, so this is when you're still quite, far away. When you've noticed the darkness begins to dim, right?
I want to get a little bit close. Like, how far away is the castle?
It's about 10 miles. And then about in about 9 miles, there's this kind of like small collection of buildings.
Okay.
And then there is a staircase that leads up into the mountains and the hills that connects to this bridge that spans the river.
I want to cast it when we're like closer to the buildings, but like clearly enveloped in this darkness.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. When you guys continue on and you get closer and closer, the darkness grows until it is almost night. And it's the middle of the day. Like, counting the hours, there's no way it's nighttime. But as you get to these buildings, it's like twilight. It's like it is nighttime. It's black around you. Your dark vision does appear to work, shifting from this kind of vibrant, colorful hue to becoming this black and white monochrome vision. But it's weird. It's... when you turn up the contrast on a photo or on a screen too high and the blacks become these engulfing blacks that seem to just absorb everything around them? That's the same with your dark vision, which has never really happened to those of you who've used it before. You're used to this kind of monochrome black and white vision, but this is like the shadows are almost... Oh, good. It almost feels like you're going to fall into them. They're almost domineering the darkness of your sight. Agnis, specifically... you are looking around and you could swear, if this doesn't sound crazy, you could almost swear that Tarkhal's and Azara's shadows seemed to move on their own for a second. Like they were moving ahead of you and their shadows almost twisted as if they were turning around to look at you, and then they snap back as they continue moving ahead.
Can I roll an Arcana check to see if I know anything about shadows with a mind of their own?
Sure. Yeah, you can make an Arcana
Also,
check.
quick
On the
question.
Detect Magic.
Yeah,
Mica,
that's what I was going to ask.
are you casting that with just a normal spell slot?
Yeah.
Oh, because you can't ritual cast because you're sorcerer. You cast Detect Magic. So there's a couple of things. The very air here is tinged with two schools of magic. It's what you learn with detect magic. You learn the schools of magic.
Okay.
But it is suffused into the very air. The buildings are soaked in it. The buildings that you can see just coming up. There's 3 buildings. I'll describe those in a second. Evocation and necromancy.
Oh, lovely.
Both of these things, it's seeped into the very air around this place.
Feeling that, I'm going to stop everyone and I'm going to tell them whatever is here, whatever is causing this darkness, whatever is haunting these halls is dabbling in necromancy. And this could kill all of us possibly. That's just be careful. This can't be good.
I will say, just to reassure your fears, the trace of the magic in the air is very, very minor. Like it's because it's spread out over such an area, it's very diffused.
I'd rather, even knowing that, I'd rather everyone feel panicky versus thinking, just a bit of necromancy.
Just to give you a bit of the extra information, because you would be able to tell the strength of this aura as well.
Well, you raid a place called the Haunted Halls, you're probably gonna see some, well, hauntings.
I interject with the very useful knowledge I have from rolling a nat 20 on my Arcana check.
Oh!
So what's the total?
22.
Okay, because just remember, nat 20 on a skill check, it's no different to just, rolling a 19. It's just a high number. 22. Okay. So.
Let me have my nat 20s when I get them, Mark. They're very rare.
There are undead creatures called shadows they are manifested when a creature is slain or when it goes through terrible torment, and they can become living undead creatures alone. They move about, they can drain the strength and the life from you. They are powerful creatures. You don't think that that's what has happened to Azara and Tarkhal's shadow. Whatever is happening here, this gloom, this twilight in the air, is affecting the shadows of everything. Because when you look again, it's not just Azara and Tarkhal's shadow. It's the shadow of the buildings. It's the shadow of a tree. Every now and then, they just almost twitch as if there's still life to them, as if something else had happened. The shadow of a tree moves as if a breeze has blown it. The shadow of a building, you almost think you can see the outline of a person entering and leaving it. It's like an echo of something that was before, or maybe a different time or something like that.
Do I get the feeling from all that it's like they are in danger because of how their shadows moved, or just like it's good to be aware that there is some sort of other?
You don't think that they're in danger. You don't sense an Arcana check is more just knowledge. It's not like a magical sense, like a spell.
Right.
But what you know, if they were going to be creatures, if this was some sort of curse, there would probably be some other effects. Like Azara and Tarkhal would be acting differently. The shadows would physically be attacking people. You don't think there's any immediate danger.
Well, I pointed out to everyone, and especially to Azara, and I'm like, see how the building keeps twitching there? And look there, it looks like somebody just walked in. There's something going on here, a parallel time or something.
It's whatever it is, it's a dark and powerful magic, and we should just be on our guard.
Tarkhal and Clive, while Azara and Agnis are kind of having this and thinking, because obviously when you're thinking about trying to recall all your arcane knowledge and things like that, you're a little bit more distracted. You two notice that, up ahead there are these 3 buildings, and they look they're abandoned. They're overgrown, covered with ivy. Several of them have collapsed roofs. All 3 of them look to be in different states of collapse or ruin. You can identify roughly what buildings they are from their outward appearance. There is a stable, which is definitely the worst looking building. The roof has basically collapsed in. The walls look like they're in pretty bad shape with rot and disarray and just damage. That's the closest building is the stable. There appears to be a large cottage that maybe once housed people, almost not like an inn, but maybe something where a bunch of people stayed. Lots, a couple of different families might have lived together in. That looks to be damaged, but is in a far more stable condition. And then there is a very, very small smithy, which is probably the most stable building out of all of them. Made purely from stone. It doesn't seem to have much, there's a bit of damage to like the tile roofs and things like that, but it's definitely the most safe of the 3 buildings.
I was typing notes. Really quick though, when Agnis shares the stuff about shadows, Tarkhal would like instinctively take his dagger and just toss it at his own shadow. Like,
so the knife kind of, this kind of glinting silver, thump, thuds into the ground, and there is a second where, make an attack roll for me.
Sure.
Against your own AC.
Ooh.
What?
Wow. My dice landed on my keyboard on a 12. Plus 8, so dirty 20.
And that would hit you normally?
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So the shadow, you flick it at it, and the shadow, you all watch as Tarkhal's shadow goes to dodge the attack as if he himself were dodging the attack. And it just strikes the ground, the dagger just sinks in, and then the shadow seems to be normal. It just seems to be, as if it was your own shadow. But there is this second where you threw it, where it reacts almost to the blow.
Weird.
That's a fun little trick you got there, lad.
I want to cast Word of Radiance at my own shadow to see what'll happen.
That's radiant damage, right?
Yeah.
So there is this kind of like burst of light. As the kind of light envelops, you watch as anybody around you, their shadows kind of shy away from it. And this is like instantaneous. It's like only Agnis, I think, would really catch this movement. They almost flinch from the light, but your shadow is just completely normal, Azara, as if it's unaffected.
And we're sure this relic and relationship is worth what we're walking into, yeah?
I think this is going to be fun.
And we're here now, so it's too late to turn back.
All right, Aaron will take care of Eveningstar if anything happens to us, I'm sure. Let's go ahead.
Sure. As you guys get close to the buildings, because you're still seeing them from a little ways away, there are noises. You begin to hear this kind of heavy thudding, something banging against wood coming from the stable, scraping noise. The other buildings seem eerily silent. The windows of the cottage are like pools of blackness that just seem to suck in. Even your dark vision, it's like looking into a shadow. These doorways and windows just seem to absorb everything. There's almost, it's this uncanny feeling of being pulled in.
Well,
you hear this kind of bang against the stable and this scraping.
I doubt that the things we're looking for will be in the stable. However, it may be good to make sure whatever's making that noise is either friendly or mitigated.
Agreed. And Azara will kind of like hold tighter to her staff, ready to kill something.
Sure.
I'll conjure my wildfire spirit. Welcome, Candor.
Candor kind of puffs in. Candor seems dimmer than normal.
No,
the light of the flame, the light of his fire is not giving off anywhere near the level of light he normally gives off.
Is it like a lantern in the wind? Like it's still getting fuel, but it looks like it's like guttering to go out?
It's not flickering. It's like a filter that's been placed over him. Just completely like the saturation of the flames has gone out. So Agnis, you want to go check out the stable. Do Clive and Tarkhal, do you guys want to go with them? Do you want to explore the other buildings? Azara, do you want to go off on your own?
I'm going with Agnis.
Okay.
Look at him trying to split the party. We know your tricks.
Making sure that everybody is doing what they want their character to do.
Splitting parties.
Yeah, I think that I would stay with Agnis and Azara and Clive. I'd stay with all of them no matter where they went.
What does Clive want to do? Maybe Clive's just like,
Which one were you going to?
The stable.
Clive would be most interested in that smithy.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, all right, you're all have fun then. I want to take a gander at what's going on in here.
I put my hand on his arm. I'm like, Clive,
Hey?
could you maybe wait until we clear the stable? It would be better if we all stayed together, I think.
I'll Post up right here, then. Keep an eye
Stand
on
guard.
what's
Gotcha.
going on out here.
All right.
Sure.
As he takes his morning star off of his shoulders and just like slams into the ground.
Yeah, you feel this like heavy impact, like kicks up like mud and grass and things like that as it slams in.
I also glanced to see if I happened to hit my shadow.
I think that there is like, you look down at your shadow and you, for a second, it's like the shadow is scratching itself, but then you blink and it's back to normal.
I'm watching you little shit.
Okay, so the trio that are checking out the stable, looking at this, Tarkhal would probably have the best idea of this, and Azara as well, I think. This building is in a very bad state. Tarkhal especially, if this building gets disturbed too much, there is a chance that the roof's going to fully collapse. The doorway, completely blocked. Like the wooden timbers have broken and collapsed in. Stones have fallen down. Windows all blocked. There does appear to be a small, like gap in the wall that somebody could squeeze through. But that seems to be the only way in. All the windows and that are just, completely blocked up by fallen debris.
How heavy do these wooden pillars look?
Oh, I mean, mixture of weights. The heaviest stones are probably close to, what does a person weigh? Sort of, 100 and something pounds or something like that. Mm-hmm. Some of the wooden timbers are all going to be these thick, heavy logs, like maybe like 40 pounds each, 30 pounds each.
Never mind.
Yeah, more than a mage hand can.
Gotcha.
Could I burn it?
There's certainly like some of the wood you can burn. Some of it looks quite waterlogged and damaged, but some of it you could definitely set on fire. The stones obviously won't burn, like all the collapsed like stone walls and roofs and things like that. But the timbers, yeah, for sure. You could try and burn some of those, maybe create some space.
Yeah, I mean...
But the timbers are also holding some of the structure up. So where the timbers have fallen, they're also like holding the walls up still. Too much damage and the whole thing might come crashing down. But
probably not the
as
best
you get closer,
idea.
that kind of that banging, and it sounds like something banging against wood gets louder. This kind of like bam. Bam.
Can I perceive what it sounds like? Like, does it sound like a hoof or like a fist or like a
Make a perception
tool?
check for me. Make a perception check for me.
I roll 21.
21. So the wooden sound, you can't quite figure out what that is. It could be too many things. It does sound like some sort of impact. But the scraping does sound a bit like a horse's hoof, like scraping against the ground.
There's a horse in there. We have to rescue it.
Well, can't
It's
you talk
totally
to animals?
probably not undead.
Can't you communicate with animals? Maybe see if it needs our help?
It's quite a large stable. And it's, all blocked up. Can't quite see in.
I don't think I could reach it from here.
Well, maybe we just need to find a way to squeeze in without disturbing the rubble.
Yeah.
So can I just investigate the building?
Yeah, you don't even need to make an investigation check,
Okay.
Tarkhal, looking at it. You think that a character could squeeze through. It would be a athletics or an acrobatics check to move through the building without disturbing any of like these collapsed sections. And you think that if you cause too much stress by failing those checks, each time you fail it, there's a chance that the whole thing might come crashing down.
Not be me. My athletics is -1, so.
Has Agnis ever wild shaped?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, you haven't, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I don't know that you can do that.
Well, you might. Well, I mean...
I've seen you go rah once and then claw at
Yeah,
someone,
you
but
saw
you weren't.
Primal Savagery.
Yes.
But I would think that you would know that a druid can wild shape. Like, I think that's...
But like now that I'm thinking about it, it's weird, right? Tarkhal might actually think there's a reason why you don't wild shape, and he might be like, I can't bring it up. Like even Jonathan feels weird for bringing it up. So Tarkhal definitely does.
As a mechanical question, if I have already summoned my wildfire spirit, I can't also wild shape at the same time, right?
I don't believe so, because I think that it's a use of your wild shape, right?
Yeah, it is a use of it, but that's what I was wondering is, can I use
no, I
two
think you
uses?
could. Yeah, you could use 2 uses of it. Yeah, I don't see
That's
why.
kind of cool.
It doesn't say in Wildfire Spirit that you can't wild shape, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think it does either. No, I think you could.
I think it just says, yeah, as an action, you can expend one of your uses of wild shape to summon
Then,
your wildfire
in that
spirit.
case, you can. Yep, that's fine.
While everybody's thinking, Azara is going to actually hold out a hand and go, hold on. If this town has been abandoned for God knows how long, how is there a living horse still inside that stable?
It's probably totally not undead.
Is risking our lives to possibly rescue something that would just turn around and kill us worth it?
I was more thinking either we're rescuing something that needs our help, or we're clearing out a potential future threat when we're trying to make our egress.
But we have no safe way to assess the threat currently without potentially bringing harm to ourselves.
Can't you become a bird?
Oh, that would take away a really high-level spell slot.
Oh. Then I will do it. I will become a... Give me a minute to think. I don't do this very often.
It's okay. I think that you can... your choice of beasts is quite limited because you're not a moon druid. So it's like, I think, like half your level. So like CR4 or something like that. I don't know.
That's a good few things.
That's a good few things, yeah.
You can become... I think you could still be like a giant coral snake. Not like you need something giant right now, but...
Yeah, I can be some pretty cool things.
Okay, so you're level 8 druid, right?
Yeah. Level 9.
Yeah.
9.
8's your highest level. You can become up to a CR1 creature. So, that's pretty much most normal animals, plus a couple dire animals and things like that. But you can also be a flying speed creature as well.
Well, let's see. I need to be something small and hopefully...
Mouse?
Yeah, but something that maybe has like a little bit of defense, like...
That's not going to happen with CR1.
Yeah, it is. I could be a giant wasp, for example.
Oh, there you go.
That's only CR 0.5.
What size is a giant wasp?
Oh. Probably giant, I would assume.
Yeah.
Also, it has to be a beast. It has to be
medium beast. Giant wasp is medium beast. I don't know.
It has to be.
So a medium creature is basically the same as a person, so you're still going to be trying to squeeze through this space.
I can't change into something smaller?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, you can be anything. It doesn't have to be CR1. You can be anything from 0 to 1. So it's like you can be a cat. You could be a badger. You could be a bat.
A raven.
Could be a raven. You could be I would say that any tiny creature can easily go through this building with no check whatsoever. You can just literally walk through these holes and prowl around. You're not going to be heavy enough to set anything off. Small creature, I'll give you advantage on any checks to move through it. Medium creature has to make checks to try not to disturb the walls.
Okay. This is not the highest, this is a waste kind of the CR potential I have. It's CR 0.
Yeah.
But I think a scorpion might be a good idea here.
Okay. Sure.
So I'll wild shape into a scorpion. Yeah.
So we watch as beautiful Agnis with her red resplendent hair and resplendent dress begins to shrink. Her form kind of twists and reshapes itself into this tiny red scorpion.
And the carapace kind of glints a little bit like it's on fire.
Yeah.
Not like it's on fire, but it looks fiery.
Like it's holographic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and
you got some
can
hollows and reverse hollows?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can scuttle in with no problem, Agnis. When you do, you find that the inside of it, is a mess. This place, a couple of wrong moves, and this place will just go crashing down. Are you trying to be stealthy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would like you to make a stealth check using Le Scorpion's stealth bonus.
And that's a
0.
Okay.
Plus 0. You are tiny,
Plus
though, so it's not very high DC to stay unhidden.
It is a 12.
A 12. Okay, that's fine. You scuttle your way through this stable, and what you find is in the very center of it, where the stables would be, where the pens for the horses would be, you see something which is, a little bit unusual. There appears to be a dark-colored thoroughbred, because you would recognize a thoroughbred horse as a noble war horse. However, it seems to be partially see-through. It is connected to a rope that is also partially see-through that is wrapped around this wooden pillar. And you can see the horse is pulling on the rope and stamping its hoof and scraping it along the ground. And it doesn't seem to be able to move or really get free because of this rope. And every time the rope, even though it's this kind of same see-through, insubstantial form, when it tugs on the wood, it makes this kind of heavy knocking sound as if something's pulling against it.
So it almost looks as though like part of this horse doesn't exist in this reality.
That's exactly what it looks like. Yes, it's there, but it's also not there.
Do I know anything about like how to pull things from one like plane of existence to another? That doesn't seem like Agnes's forte.
I'm gonna say, unless you want to get me a natural 20 on another Arcana check, probably not.
Well, let's try it just to see. I doubt it, but nope.
You would know enough that this thing doesn't look like it's actually on this plane. It looks like it's like somewhere
but it doesn't
else.
look
or
like
it's a ghost.
monster.
Maybe it's a ghost. It looks like a normal horse. It's like a saddle. It's a thoroughbred. This powerful black stallion. Just doesn't. It looks like it's either a ghost or it's not real.
Can I look around and see if there's anything else that's notable in here besides the horse?
You kind of scuttle around your little.
Up on the ceiling?
Yeah. Sneaking your way around. The horse doesn't seem to notice you. It doesn't seem to be aware of your presence in this tiny form. You can't see anything else in this place. There is like, again, these collapsed walls, but this is really it. This kind of shadowy see-through horse. That's it.
It's attached to a rope?
Mm-hmm. And the rope is also partially see-through, just like the
Can I scorpion clamp, cut the rope?
So when you get down, you try and the rope, the claw goes through it as if it's not there. It's just like. Actually, no. Technically, make an attack roll for me. It's not actually. It has resistance, but not immunity.
Any kind of modifier or just...
You have a +2 to the attack roll.
So 20.
So you rolled an 18 +2 as a scorpion. So the little kind of... You kind of clip the rope a little bit. It does 1 piercing damage. It's immune to poison damage because it is a rope. And because it's resistant, it takes half of 1, which is thankfully a minimum of 1. So you kind of like snip at like a couple of cords and they fray and they snap. But you do see it does seem to have an effect. And the horse at this point, I'm going to make a perception check for it. Its head turns around and it sees you as this scorpion.
Freeze.
You freeze up. Okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of like, and it tugs on the rope as if trying to like get free. And again, this rope just goes taut and you hear something slamming. As it pulls harder, bits of tile begin to break down. What do you want to do?
It's like, I don't want this horse to have to be stuck in here, but I also know that if I set it free, it'll probably hurt itself. But it'll probably hurt itself anyway, so I'm just going to keep on the rope.
Okay. All right, give me another attack roll. +2 to the attack roll.
Come on, scorpion claws.
This is really just how like strong you are to cut through it.
Spirit of scorpion, 12.
Is enough. You cut through another little bit. It's about halfway cut through this rope. You're like cutting at this rope. The horse, I'm going to make a check to see how much it panics. It tugs again. A big chunk of roof kind of outside Azara, Tarkhal, and Clive. You see chunks of the roof kind of cave in. A piece of wall buckles. You can hear this kind of heavy scraping, and now you can begin to hear this kind of as the horse is becoming more agitated. Give me another attack roll, Agnis.
Agnis, what's going on in there?
Scorpion noise.
7.
7. This time you just don't quite have the strength to get through the fibers of the rope. But the horse seems to almost sense something's changed. Like it turns around and it sees you soaring with these claws at the rope, and it pauses, and with quite intelligent eyes, it seems to be watching you, no longer tugging at the rope as much. But the damage has already been done, and a few more pieces of roof do begin to pull down. What do you do? And what does everyone else do outside if you guys want to do anything? Sure, give me another attack roll. Azara, Tarkhal, Clive. This place is coming down. You've maybe got a few rounds before this thing collapses. There's no sign of Agnes.
I'm going to, as I'm casting Mage Hand and sending it through the hole where Agnes was, I'm going to say, Agnes, whatever is in there is not worth your life. And I'm going to just like leave the hand where she can
like
possibly
30
get
feet
on.
in.
Yeah, like
So
where
you
she
can
can
try
get
and
up
pull
on
her.
it so I can snatch her out if need
Sure.
be.
Okay, so you're going to basically cast that and then hold like an action to try and yank her back when you see it. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds cool. Clive, Tarkhal, anything?
I see Agnes do that, and I just wait. I'm like, oh, I mean, not Agnes. I see Azara do that. I'm like, oh my god, Agnes, and then that's it.
So I'm outside of the stable they went in. Are they like in shouting distance or?
Oh yeah. So like for Clive, you're stood like maybe 25 feet from Azara and Tarkhal, who are stood at this wall, like trying to peer into this like hole, but they can't see what's going on inside. They're actually outside the stable, but just like peering in through this squeeze space. They're like 25, 30 feet away.
You're right in there.
Well, Agnes went in and hasn't come back out, and
And she's a scorpion, so.
Oh,
Agnes, attack roll.
You said that it's like within like 2 turns of falling down this place, right?
I mean, maybe.
It's like
I didn't
it's
say
in
I didn't
bad
say how
shape.
many turns. I said you have turns before it comes down. I didn't say how many.
It's in bad
It's bad.
shape.
It's
like
it's if the horse had kept tugging at this rope and like had been more forceful, this would probably be coming down very, very, very quickly. Because it stopped, whatever structural kind of damage it's done it's gonna keep happening. Like it's falling down, but it's not as you've got some time potentially.
And the way that this is laid out is you said that there's kind of an entryway where there's beams falling down.
So imagine you've got like a big barn, right? You're in the pen where they keep the horses, which is in the very middle of the building. And you had squeezed in through a side wall through this tiny gap. So there's like a good sort of like 30 feet to where you came in to where you are now. There's like a good sort of like distance of time.
And I'm trying to get a sense of what the structure is like. Like is it every wall is kind of caving in, or is there like there's 3 walls that are pretty normal but one is falling down, or is there a door or windows?
The doors and windows are mostly collapsed. You would probably need to give me like some sort of intelligence check to try and figure out like, okay, is there a safe space in this place that I could dash to, or is there a particular wall that looks more structurally sound?
I'm not
it's hard
trying
to tell
to
inside.
I'm not trying. So in Agnes's mind, this dream plays out, right? Where she's like, she can't cut through the rope, so she's gonna snap in frustration, unwild shape, turn into herself, summon Candor at the same time to come in and flame seed the rope. Agnes is gonna cast bonfire at the wall and then vault onto the horse, and with her superior animal handling, convince the horse to run through the burning wall before the building collapses. That's what's going on in Agnes's scorpion head.
I love that, and you are absolutely welcome to try.
sick.
I also just should have sent Candor in here in the first place. Candor is really small. I don't know why
It's small.
that didn't
you're
occur
here
to
now,
any of us.
And
here I am.
It sounds like you have a great plan, which I'm very excited to
It
facilitate.
does sound like
Does
a
sound
really
great.
great plan. So I'm going to try to do all at once because Candor shares my initiative order.
He does.
So technically all at once. Candor, enter, flame seed the rope, Agnes, unwild shape, cast bonfire, and then I'm going to try to animal handling the
use
horse.
Your movement to jump on the horse.
Yeah.
Yep, sure. Okay, so let's take this in order. So Candor, Candor appears. The kind of dim flickering flames appears. The flames erupt, but not maybe as brightly or as powerfully as they once did. And he's going to spit fire at this spectral rope, yes? Give me that flame seed attack. So this is like a rope. He has to try and hit it. It is like a thing to hit. It's not particularly hard, but it is, a smaller target.
Candor gets 13.
13 hits. And this is not, it is resistant to fire damage. So roll damage for me just in case.
8.
With that, Candor appears. This kind of little ball of flame erupts from his wings, and it burns through the spectral rope. The spectral horse kind of raises up. Its hooves come slamming down. At this point, though, the flame bolt that had gone through the rope impacts against some of the timbers, and you hear wood begin to splinter and crack as the walls are about to kind of begin, breaking down. You unwild shape, and then you're going to cast Create Bonfire at one of the walls, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How much damage does that do? Because I'm not going to make a dex saving throw for a wall.
1d8.
Roll me that damage.
2.
2 points. The fire erupts, but the wall, the timbers do crack, but these are solid, thick Cormyrean wood timbers. The flame isn't enough to break them or smash them. And also, fire and horses haven't historically gone very well together.
No. Mm-hmm.
So the horse panics.
But that's why the animal handling's so important, Mark.
And this spectral horse that you attempt to throw yourself on, you feel your body beginning to pass through it as you leap onto it, but make an animal handling check for me because it is partially see-through. You begin to almost fall through the horse, but give me that animal handling.
I rolled a 1, but it's still a 9 because I'm so good at animal handling.
Make the roll with advantage because you did free the horse, actually.
Huzzah! Come on. Big money. 21. So, whilst the fire erupts, the horse's eyes, and you see it panic at the fire, the collapsing walls, but in its eyes, you do recognize it sees you as the person who has set it free. And as you begin to phase through the horse, something shifts, and suddenly you find you're able to grab it like it's a real saddle. You grab the saddle, but you look and your arm is partially see-through now as well. And the horse drags you, and it runs and runs through the wall. And you have to, there's a moment where you're like, wait, and your hand passes through the wall too. And then you emerge almost as if you were a spectre yourself through the other side. 6 seconds later, and I joke you not because I rolled how long the walls would last, the whole thing comes crashing down. As the rest of you see Agnis emerge, partially see-through with this horse, this kind of spectral horse, as she's kind of dragged with it. And then, you kind of let go as you stumble to your feet after being pulled through. I imagine that as soon as we get through, I kind of let go and roll on the ground.
Yeah.
Candor comes and rolls around my head like a Tweety bird.
The horse kind of does like a parade ground turn, kind of looking around, sensing itself that it's become free. And it, kind of scrapes at the ground, bows its head, and just remains. It doesn't run off. It kind of lingers for a moment. You can see this very beautiful saddle that's been placed upon it. You can see brass furnishings, inscribed leather. It looks like something might be written on the saddle. Otherwise it just remains there.
Is it still partly translucent or transparent?
Yep. You are not, though.
Cool. I'm going to cast Speak with Animals.
Interesting.
Wait.
What about the rest of you? How does everyone else react? Because obviously you've just seen this all happen. So let's check in with everyone else.
So I guess
that's nice then.
Yeah. So I guess the this thing wasn't in there. The what we're looking for. No.
No.
Is the building completely down now? Is it leveled?
It's like a collapse. It's just completely. As a point, if you'd been in here, because I do like telling people these things, that would have been 5d10 bludgeoning damage if you'd been inside. And if the scorpion has 1 hit point. So you would have taken 1 and then Agnis takes the rest.
Yep.
So
but I didn't.
That's true.
Azara is going to very slowly and cautiously approach this horse
Sure, give
And
me an
just
animal
kind-
handling check.
I can do that. Oh, dope. 17.
Nice.
17. Okay, so it doesn't panic, sensing strangers, like you kind of, approach it calmly and softly. You hear a kind of, and it kind of like tilts its head and it lets you kind of approach. It seems to almost like look in Agnes's direction to make sure Agnes is okay. But yeah, it kind of like, and begins nuzzling at the grass. It tries to eat grass. It doesn't eat anything. It's the grass kind of like goes between its teeth and things like that.
Aw.
Can I do an Arcana check
Yeah.
to see if I know about half translucent horses that also
Sure.
make other things translucent?
Sure.
Yo, 27 total.
She
27.
knows everything.
I know the
You-
world.
There's a couple of things you know, Azara. There are spells. There is a spell, an illusion spell called Phantom Steed, which can summon, a transparent horse,
Right.
but it's temporary. It normally lasts for about an hour.
Right.
It's a magical, illusion that can travel you. This doesn't appear to be that. This seems to be more permanent. You don't get the sense that this is an undead creature.
Okay.
It's not behaving in the same way that an undead creature would. There is one hypothesis. The only thing you can really suspect is that this horse has been subjected to some very powerful magical effect that has partially placed it on the ethereal plane. Yeah.
And would I know if being on the ethereal plane could bring others onto the plane at will?
Some creatures can do that. Yes, there are some creatures that can travel and bring things into the ethereal plane and come back into the ethereal to the material plane. There are some things that can do that. Yes.
If only. I
normally
knew
very
plane
temporarily.
shift. Right. Okay, I would convey that to Agnes.
Yeah. And Agnes, you finish casting Speak with Animals.
And I incline my head to the horse and I say, "Greetings."
It looks at you, but you don't hear any voice back. It seems to be able to understand you, but it doesn't speak back to you. Even telepathically, there's just no communication.
Were you a prisoner here?
It just looks at you like a horse would.
Can you nod or shake your head? Okay, cool. So you were a prisoner here? Nod?
You don't get the sense it understands what prisoner means.
Mm.
Still got the intelligence of a horse, I'm afraid.
So I am guessing, or Agnes is guessing, from what Azara told her, that if this horse is partly in the ethereal plane, maybe it's not technically completely an animal, and that's why my spell is not working.
Or it is speaking, but because you're not on the ethereal plane, you can't hear it.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, so speak with animals is not concentration.
No.
Sweet. I cast Dispel Magic on the horse.
Interesting. Roll a d20 plus your wisdom modifier.
Wisdom modifier.
Don't like the way that he said interesting.
10.
You cast Dispel Magic, and whatever effect, whatever thing has happened to this horse, it rebuffs your magic. It has a strength to it that just knocks your magic aside. Whatever happened to this horse was very powerful magic. But
So even
between
'cause-
casting all these spells, by the way, Azara and Agnes, as you're looking, you do notice that on the saddle appears to be a name. It is called Shroud, this horse.
Is there any, you said there were other inscriptions on there. Is there anything else that it says? Other than the name?
Just property of Braewinter, property of the Braewinter family. Shroud.
As I'm
Meanwhile,
oh,
go on. No.
I
Go on.
was gonna say as I'm realizing, like petting this horse and realizing that his name is Shroud, I will.
Well, you go to pet it, and your hand just.
Right. So as I'm examining and realizing his name is Shroud, I will turn to Agnes and say, Agnes, are you communicating with Shroud here? Could you possibly ask him if if he knows what's in the castle.
Well, I can't hear what Shroud says back to me right now because of the magic. I think I can ask Shroud yes or no questions.
Okay. Should we be worried about what we will find in this castle?
So is there danger?
Is there danger ahead?
I ask Shroud that. Inside the castle, is there danger?
It nods.
Yes, there is.
So, just because I don't want to leave Shady and Nate out of things for too long, I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to do stuff. Do you guys want to do anything else while Agnes and Azara are talking to the magic see-through horse? Do you guys want to do anything else?
What a sentence!
If they're standing there like having a conversation, I think I would look to Clive and be like, "So you wanted to check out the smithy?"
Aye.
Just two horse girls talking to their magical see-through horse.
They're going to be there a while. That's I think that
Demi-plane
Tarkhal
horse.
and Clive
Oh my
can
gosh.
definitely pick that up. Well, if you guys want to check out the smithy, it's not far. All of these buildings are quite clustered together. You get the sense that maybe this was like a small community to help. I don't know, maybe like these were people that worked at the castle, or maybe these are people that, basically like service the castle, a stables, a smithy, some sort of cottage. It would make sense that maybe these were like for the servants or like the serving staff. The smithy is, and when you look over to it and if you begin heading over there, it's mostly overgrown. It has like an outdoor work area with a couple of like stone workbenches, the remnants of some sort of like crucible or like maybe a storage area for coals. And then there's this like 2-person building with a big stone forge, a rusted anvil inside of it. There's sacks and barrels that seem to be mostly intact. And you can see these great big flagstones set into the floor as well.
And this building isn't as like damaged as the stables
this
were.
is all stone, so it's weathered things like storms and things a lot better. Like centuries of time. It's eroded it. There's like some broken bricks and things like that. The anvil's useless. It's like a rusted, completely covered in like this red rust and moss, but it's weathered everything else a lot better. And because of that, the barrels and the crates and the sacks have also seemed to have lasted a bit more time. They're broken down. Some of them are quite rotten and moldy, but you do catch the glimpses of there might be some things hidden inside. You can kind of see little kind of like
I'm gonna
bundles
open those.
sticking out. Yeah, okay. You just kind of crack these open. They break open in your paws quite easily. Inside, if you go through all of them, there's a set of 10 torches, a tinderbox, a flask of oil, and a sack of coals. But that's just what you can see in the crates that are scattered around the smithy itself. If you wanted to do any further investigations, you have to take investigation checks and stuff like that.
Yeah, all that stuff is not very interesting. So Clive's just kind of like taking it out and throwing it behind him.
Sure. Yeah, it looks like it's all mundane stuff. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I'd want to do some some searching.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, investigation for both of you then, please.
That's a 20. Obviously, that doesn't matter because Anna already got yelled at for this, but it's a crit, and that's 28
I
total.
didn't yell. There's no yelling.
Right, I'm sorry, you didn't yell.
Reminder.
I'm sorry, DM. Don't yell at me again.
I got a 15.
15. Okay, so you both find this. Maybe Tarkhal finds it a bit quicker, but Clive, you notice this as well. Set into the floor just at the base of the forge, where you would like place things in to be worked and heated up. One of the flagstones is a little bit wonky, and there's like almost like chips at the very edges of it.
I'm gonna mess with it.
Yeah, how do you want to mess with it? You want to like try and pull it up? Do you want to try and break through it?
So it's not like it has any kind of give or anything to it. It's just like,
Do you want to try? Do you want to try and like get your claws into the sides and see if it will like come loose?
see if I can like rip it up.
Yeah, your claws kind of like get in, and with a bit of strength and heft of your muscles, yeah, it comes loose. This whole flagstone seems to slide out. And it's not a big space underneath. It's just big enough for what appears to be something wrapped up in a kind of quite well-oiled leather, like this kind of old leather bundled up. Something has been wrapped inside and placed beneath this stone. And you both find this at the same time. Clive obviously pulls it up, but Tarkhal, you see it in there as well.
I'll take it.
That's good.
I found a secret.
Do you think that's the relic we're here for, or?
We'll find out, won't we?
Sure. Do you want to like open up the bundle, like untie like these leather straps and like roll out the leather? See
Yup.
what's inside. Sure. You unwrap it, and there's this kind of pungent smell of oxide and metal, and you kind of cough for a moment. And laying on the leather, it's probably the brightest thing you've seen. It's as bright as Tarkhal's dagger. This silver longsword, beautifully well made. It's got silver inlaid into the hilt and pommel. The blade is steel, but it's polished to have a silver inlay, this kind of thin band of silver that runs through it. And it has a onyx, like a black deep onyx set into the pommel. It looks expensive. Very, very well made weapon. Looks expensive. Yeah, that's what you find.
Is this what we're looking for?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. We'll have to ask Azara. I know it's not the potion, though, which is a little more interesting to me. But it looks better than a horse, I would say.
Oh, we'll let the horse be the judge of that.
Sure. And yeah, if you guys make your way back, while you guys are doing that, Azara and Agnis, if you want to continue questioning Shroud, or if there's anything else you want to do.
I have more questions for this horse.
Sure.
Oh, lovely sentence. Shroud, do you know how you wound up partially in another plane of existence?
It doesn't understand that question.
That's
looks
fair.
blankly.
Do you know what happened to you?
It shakes its head. I'm assuming Agnis translates these questions. So
did this happen a long time ago?
Nods its head.
Are you very old?
It nods its head, but in an uncertain way. It's like,
I would imagine that's because this horse clearly hasn't aged.
Right.
The amount of time.
And that's
what we're gathering.
when Agnis or Azara, when you think about it, this does not look like it's aged a day.
At all. Okay.
It looks like it's this pure thoroughbred at the peak of its health. This Agnis, you would probably, and Azara I think would know this as well. This would probably be like the Lord's horse, like the head of the family, or the head of the the Lord or Lady of the house's personal steed.
I ask it, do you want to come back to this plane?
It doesn't understand that question.
Do you want to be whole again? Do you like to be how you are now?
It nods its head.
Oh, okay.
You can see it trots and it walks through the walls and then it trots back round.
Cool.
As if kind of saying like, I like being able to do this. This is fun.
Right. Are other things in the castle like you?
It shakes its head.
Okay.
Because it doesn't know. You get the idea it doesn't know.
It doesn't know.
Yeah. With that, Clive and Tarkhal come back from their little joint, their little jaunt.
Really quick, with this sword, I'd like to use my magic awareness and see magic.
Sure. What does magic awareness do? Read it out for us so that we all understand the power of the wild mane.
So, as an action, you can open your awareness to the presence of concentrated magic. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover. When you sense a spell, you learn which school of magic it belongs to.
So it's kind of like detect magic. Okay. So there's a couple of things. The sword is not magical, I'm sad to say. It is just ornate. Tarkhal and Clive probably wouldn't know this, but Tarkhal, you estimate it's probably worth like 250 gold for this kind of really fine weapon with steel, with silver and gemstone onyx in the hilt. It's not magical, sadly, but Clive, I mean, again, like Azara did, this whole area is suffused with necromancy, evocation magic. The horse, there are strong elements of transmutation and necromancy combined in as well. You don't sense anything else in this immediate area. But the horse, the air, very much have strong elements of magic.
All right.
But sadly, no magic sword. Not yet.
Once Clive and Tarkhal come back, I will turn to them and say, well, I guess the only place now to go is into this castle with unspoken necromancy, plane shifting evils to get back a lantern.
I found the sword.
That is a beautiful sword, however, it is not a lantern.
Does anyone want it then? Got no use for it. It's worth something. I hear you like something on this plane.
Tarkhal could use a sword like that.
He just slams it into Tarkhal's chest. Here you are, lad.
No, yeah. Hold on to it. Thank you.
Agnis, I guess they finished asking the horse questions. So before, like the last thing she'll ask him, and this is totally stolen from chat, thank you. She'll just put her face up to him and go, are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. And I explain, like, we're going in the castle. We're friends now. If you want to hang out, let us know. Otherwise,
I would like
free.
Agnis and Azara, as you are the two that spent time talking to it, both of you to make animal handling checks.
I really hope
See what impression you leave on this beast.
We're friendies. 22.
15.
That's enough. It nods its head and it trots over to like away from the buildings, but it kind of gets down as if resting. As it like takes a moment where, you know, like horses, they kind of hunch up and kind of rest. And it seems to stop. It seems to almost be waiting.
He's gonna come with us when we
Good
get back.
boy. We got good boy.
This is making me emotional because the horse I'm gonna lease, he's a black horse named Boo, and I just imagine that he's a beautiful black horse.
Maybe his middle name is Shroud.
Oh my God, Boo Shroud! You unleashed the horse girl in me, Mark. This is your fault.
I am well aware of what I did when I put this horse in. There's a reason that I was like, oh yeah, Agnis, you can hear scraping. What's that noise? Because I knew she couldn't resist. But anyway, there's only really this other building, this cottage. If you don't want to explore that, there's only one place. Well, you can hear the sound of the Starwater River nearby. You can hear this heavy, fast-flowing river. But looking up from these buildings, you see Castle Braewinter, maybe 100 to 120 feet up into the mountains. And to get there, you have to climb up this tall, spiraling stone staircase dug into the mountains. And then there is this bridge that spans all the way across the river and connects the two, where you go up from here and the doors that lead into the castle interior. You must cross this bridge. On the other side of the river, the cliff face is sheer. It's been purposely carved and sculpted to be an incredibly difficult climb up to the castle walls. The castle walls are maybe like 30, 40 feet tall as well. Very, very imposing. This would be, as anybody with, I think for Clive especially, militarily, this is a very defensible castle. This would be very difficult to besiege and attack. So whatever happened here, well, you can only begin to imagine what it was.
Quick question.
Yes.
Did we happen to pass a sign that said "Now entering Barovia"? Okay, cool.
There's no mist.
Just checking.
There's no.
Just dark.
Listen. There's no mist. Just dark. Just
dark. Yeah.
You said another plane. I gotta just make sure that we didn't trip into Barovia.
Well, it's been done. Old school.
Oops.
I wouldn't inflict that again.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people that have had too much trauma in Barovia here, so
I think everyone.
Thank you for that recognition. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that you don't get Mark original spookums.
Spookums.
But yeah, like I said, this place is pitch black. It's like you're in the dead of night, and there is just these looming stairs leading upwards.
Huh.
Was there still a cottage?
Yeah, there's a cottage as well. There's this kind of ruined cottage if you'd like to check that out as well.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, Clive heads in, bold and brave. The cottage is very damaged on the inside, but it's stable. Not like, that you can move about in it without any checks or difficulties, but it's broken. You step in to what feels like complete darkness, but your dark vision does adjust. Although, again, it's like the shadows here seem deeper and darker, longer. They stretch out way more than they should. Inside the cottage, you find a large dining space with broken tables and toppled over chairs, a brick fireplace, as well as a kitchen kind of set aside with stone worktops, some broken barrels, remnants of things that once were, but all of it's fallen into deep disrepair. There is a staircase that leads up if you wish to head up there as well.
I want to like turn on my perception hat and like I'm in full scan mode for any places where little items could be hidden.
That is your passive perception. I have a record of it. You need not worry.
Okay.
If you'd like to like go room to room and spend time, that would be an investigation check.
I want to do that because that's what we're here for, right? Is finding these artifacts. So I want to investigate.
Absolutely.
That's
Sure.
true. I would also do that.
Absolutely. Please make investigate checks as you see fit.
You know what? I have angered the dice gods by rolling a nat 20 as I am never supposed to do. So I just rolled my third natural one of the day.
I got a
Sorry to
7,
hear
so
that.
I ain't seeing shit.
Okay. Tarkhal, investigation, or are you not bothered?
Yeah, I tried investigating. My eyes are closed. Actually, it was a total of 9.
Total of a 9. Okay.
We all cannot see.
You do well. You all move through, and I think Agnis, you're kind of like Agnis and Azara, you're distracted by just the shadows in this place are unnerving. Like every time you think you've seen something, it actually, it was like the shadow of a chair that's twisted almost to make it look like a person. This place unnerves you. Clive, as you're making your way through, you lead everyone upstairs. And yeah, you find, apart from the kitchen downstairs, you find a series of bedrooms. Tarkhal, you do notice something. It's not particularly hard to find, which is why you find it. Inside one of the bedrooms, there is a desk that has toppled over, but one of the drawers has come loose. It looks like it's like when it fell over, like some, maybe hundreds or 20 decades ago. It's fallen over and this drawer has popped open. And inside, there is this very tightly bound leather journal. You find a few odds and knickknacks. You find like tattered scraps of fabric. You find some wooden toys in one of the rooms, like little toy knights on horses, little wooden swords, maybe like a hand mirror that might have belonged to, a servant woman or something like that. Nothing fancy, maybe a kind of lacquered wood, and like a little tiny steel mirror. You find like these little knickknacks and odds and ends. But the only thing of like note is this leather journal that's sticking out of one of the desks.
I think I'd just walk in, and if that's the only thing catches my eye, just nab it.
Sure. Yeah. Do you open it, or are you just gonna?
I'd open it. I just want to look for like a name, like quickly.
Okay. You flip through, a lot of the pages have been water damaged and a lot of it's ineligible. Like the ink is blurred or it's been worn away. You do find a name stamped into the leather on the back. It just says Christy. No, not Christy. That's the name of their friend. It says Martha stamped in leather on the journal. There are some entries which are readable. If you flick through the book, near the back, there are, spaced like weeks or days apart, but there are some entries which are readable. If you'd like to read them, I have them. If you don't, I don't have to.
Trying to think of Tarkhal. I guess like I get the sense that this book, you said it's centuries old, essentially.
Holding this thing is old.
Okay, then I don't think Tarkhal would mind reading it. He would read it.
He wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
So there's a few entries. Most of them are short, written in common hand. This would be kind of similar, like reading through it'd be similar to the kind of way that Tarkhal was taught to read and write in the village, in the Kingswood. This is not a noble's hand. This is like, a commoner, like a serf.
Okay.
It reads, Christy and I started working for Lady Cecilia soon, which means we'll be inside the Lords and Ladies' chambers. I'm excited but nervous. Maybe being around so many mages, I'll learn a trick or two like old Felix. The next entry, Lord Raiden may be the most handsome man I've ever seen. He's like a prince out of a story. His hair is like spun gold and his smile is dazzling. I know Christy is absolutely enthralled with him and follows him about the castle. Lady Cecilia almost seemed to expect it as well. She had one of the other girls start helping me to make up for Christy's slacking. Another entry. And these are all spaced. You can't tell exactly how long, but there's definitely time passing between them. I probably shouldn't write this, but Lady Cecilia doesn't like Lord Raiden much. I've heard her cursing his name and his recklessness when she thinks I'm not there. She barely joins the other nobles for dinner or socializing anymore. Just spends all her time in her tower. I'm worried about her. Next entry. Lord Raiden and most of the nobles are having some sort of fancy ball tomorrow, and of course he asks Christy and the other staff who fawn over him to join them. They've been shrieking about it for days, but because I'm Lady Cecilia's handmaiden, I'm not welcome. It's so unfair. And then the very last entry that you can read. Lady Cecilia is a paranoid old coot, locked away working on her stupid lantern whilst the others get ready for their ball and Lord Raiden's big announcement. I'm going to go anyway. I've saved up my pay and bought up a nice dress from the trader. If Christy can go, so can I. That's the last entry in the journal.
Sounds like the land. Oh, did you tell us that, or were you just reading it?
I think I was just reading it, and then assuming we're all going to meet up at some point. Because I think are we walking up these stairs right now, or was this?
You're in the cottage. Everyone's in the cottage, kind of exploring the rooms and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think then once we're in a central place, I'll just share all that information.
Yeah.
Sounds like the lantern must be in the tower.
Yeah.
Everything is still in place from when these entries were written. Above game, did we get the sense from that Lady Cecilia is a mage?
I'm happy to read out the entries again, but I mean, it makes reference to lots of mages.
And working on her lantern.
Yeah, I mean, that might, if it's a magical item, that might imply that she was some sort of enchanter. Or a glass blower or a smith, right. But you don't imagine a noble woman would be doing those things.
Then if Mica and Azara have the same brain, she'll say, if this Lady Cecilia is some sort of sorcerer, wizard, enchantress, it could be the reason this darkness has fallen. It could be the reason our new friend is partially on another plane. What I'm saying is this could be dangerous if we find it. So I think it's best that we stick together once we find this tower. We approach this lantern with caution if we find it. Nobody's been here for, it seems like centuries, and I think that there's a reason for that. Everything we're learning in the past few hours is just worrying me as a magic user myself. It's unnerving.
Right, so then the tower then.
Yes, Clive, the tower.
Off we go. No one here.
Okay. Clive leads you heroically and bravely up the stairs, out of the cottage and towards these stairs that wind up through the hills. It takes you, maybe an hour or so. You're still, a good mile or so away, maybe less than that, maybe sort of like 10, 20 minutes. Eventually, the stairs lead you up, and looking down, the Starwater River flows and churns deep, about 100 foot below you, as you stand and look out onto a bridge that seems to extend across the river and into the dark castle. The castle is pitch black. The area around you is dark as winter's night. The bridge has these columns rising up from it set alongside, but there are no lanterns, there are no torches. There are braziers or sconces where torches once hung, but there are none there now. And it just seems to loom out this kind of road stretching over thin air towards the castle gates. And you can see that there is a small gate at the end of this bridge. It's not a large gate. It appears to just be a reinforced wooden door. The castle has a set of outer walls, and then it has a set of interior walls. You can begin to see the shape of tall buildings inside those interior walls, and maybe a courtyard just beyond this main entrance. And if our good friend Dave would like to show the bridge map, and if you guys would like to go on to our little Roll20 there.
I see it.
You should be able to see a little bridge. I'll move you guys over to the start of it. So yes, this bridge kind of extends. It's maybe sort of 80 feet long before you reach the kind of small gate that leads into the castle walls.
Looks not very flammable.
It is made of stone. It
I
is
like
not
that a lot.
wooden.
Good bridge.
Good bridge.
Yeah, good bridge.
Agnis proof.
All right,
Well-
off we go then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are we
I mean,
waiting
so
for?
far, like you look around, and it's just that this just seems to extend towards the castle doors, and then that's it.
Cool.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Can't tell if the doors are locked or if they're reinforced. So yeah, like who's taking like the lead? I'm happy to move people as they need to. I'm assuming Clive, you're kind of at the front, leading the way.
Yeah, he's just like it. It's easy to mistake it for like bravery and heroicness when really it's just kind of dumb,
Patience.
not thinking. Like, yeah, let's go.
No thoughts,
Cool.
head empty.
Nope.
All right, so
Yeah,
we've
empty.
got Clive at the front. Are you guys going in like a line? Is it like Clive and Tarkhal side by side? The bridge is about 10 feet wide, so two of you can kind of move along it side by side.
Yeah, I'd imagine I would be more side, like maybe not directly next to thematically, but yeah, side by side, not single file.
And then Agnis next to her brother. And then Azara, are you hanging back quite far, or are you going to move up with the rest of the group?
Not far. Definitely within spell range, protection range,
Okay,
beating
like
range.
what? We're talking like 10, 15
like,
feet
like
more?
10 feet. Like 10,
10
feet
feet?
behind. Yeah.
Okay, so sort of about there if you want to be 10 feet from everybody, or the most people. Actually, technically, yeah, we'll put you there. So there's a couple of things. Agnis, do you still have Candor out?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And nobody else has any other light sources, do you? You don't have like any torches or anything like
I
that?
actually wanted to ask a question.
Sure.
Word of Radiance. It technically does damage every time you speak a radiant word. But
Mhm.
if you're not trying to like hit something or destroy something, could you like whisper a radiance just to kind of light an area? No.
That is what the light spell is for. Word of Radiance is to conjure this powerful blast
Right.
of radiant energy around you. You can't
Gotcha.
shape it. You can't angle it. It is just this kind
It's
of
just a
explosion of
thing.
light. Yeah.
Then no.
Okay. So Candor, as you are making your way, when you get about halfway across, and this darkness that seems to almost be emanating from this looming castle before you, it's like a heaviness on you. The closer you get, you feel this darkness cloying, sticking to you, almost feels suffocating. And as you get about halfway across the bridge, Candor's red flames turn blue. The whole bird, all of the fire on its body turns this ethereal, shimmering blue. And its luminosity, its brightness comes back, but really barely providing any light at all around you, creating only just the dimmest aura of light around itself as these bright blue flames. And then you hear something at the far end of the bridge. It begins with a kind of as you see this form beginning to rise up from the walls just beyond the gate. Black feathers, huge and engulfing, and red eyes of a giant bird rises up and lets out this immense "Ah!" And we are going to roll initiative.
Are you sure this isn't Castle Ravenloft?
Because there's
No,
a
because this
raven aloft.
This bird would be more appropriate to a hawk than a raven.
You know
It appears
what,
more
Mark?
hawk.
This isn't a rock, is it? Because then I really feel like I'm in Barovia.
It is not a rock.
Okay.
It is not. It is not. It is large. It is not like
It's not rock size.
gargantuan. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
7 for Anna.
14 for Mica.
So we got 14 for Azara, 7 for Agnis. Was that
Yep.
Tarkhal
11.
and Clive of the Wildmane?
13. Also, at the
13.
sight of this, Clive takes his, Clive is stoked. He takes his Morning Star, and he literally just holds it like a bat and starts winding up.
Okay, cool. This giant bird sweeps down 80-foot fly speed. It curves around, kind of arcing itself to the side of the bridge in this great thing, and these great wingspan stretches like a black, black canvas over the night. It turns around. As it does, it swings by and it is going to make several attacks. The first thing it tries to do is it tries to rake Tarkhal with its talons. That is going to be a 23 to hit you, Tarkhal.
It does.
Okay. You take...
I react with uncanny dodge.
Okay. So it's going to be 8 plus 5, so 13 slashing damage, which you can half to 6. So you take 6 slashing damage.
Cool.
But then you are grappled as these talons wrap around your body, and it kind of grips you tightly, and then it flies out over the river with you in its grip.
Would there be no opportunity attack?
You do get an opportunity attack, Clyde, if you wish to make one. It's not finished its attacks for this round, but it does kind of prompt one from you.
I'm going to take a swing. That would be a 14.
I'm just checking its movement. 14 to hit.
Yes.
You swing, and the thing is so fast, and its feathers kind of almost conjuring blackness throw off your aim as the morning star swipes through the air.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
If you would like to make one, it has to be, unless you have the Warcaster feat, it must be a melee weapon attack.
We'll see, lad.
I don't have any melee weapons. I have darts. Can you use darts as melee weapons?
Nope.
Then I use my fist.
Sure. Yeah.
Punch a bird.
I'm punching a bird.
Well, if we go by Pokemon rules,
22.
That is a hit.
Fuck Pokemon rules.
So, yeah, whether it's a punch or a kick, Agnis, you kind of just lash out in panic as you watch Tarkhal grabbed by this thing and pulled away from the side of the bridge.
I'm trying to punch it in the leg to let go of Tarkhal, just as a point of...
Okay. Well, what's the damage on your unarmed strike?
Oh, yeah. I get to do damage. It is 1.
1 point of damage.
Always 1.
You just swipe out. You punch the leg, and its thick muscles and kind of wiry, sinewy legs, it just bounces off. Like you just swipe at it, trying to get away.
Do I
as
also
it
get
pulls
an
Tarkhal out.
opportunity attack?
You would not, because you were just too far away from the melee attack. However, this thing is not done. First things first is it pecks with its beak. It bites into its prey that it's grabbed, which is Tarkhal. It has advantage as you are restrained. However, that's only going to be 8 plus 9, 17 to hit.
That hits.
It was a good lad.
I just want chat to know that this is Mark getting his revenge against the rogue. I want it to be known.
The uncanny dodge revenge.
12. That is 17 piercing damage. And you've used your reaction for uncanny dodge, so you cannot use it again. And it bites down in Tarkhal, and you feel its giant beak kind of tear into your shoulder. And then when it looks up, it kind of scans the three of you on the bridge. It's not the smartest thing, so it would go for the most immediate threat, which I think would probably be Clive, because it can see armor and weapons.
Also,
and
literally
eyes,
waving this.
Yeah, you're like,
its
fuck eyes
back here, you little prick.
Glow red, and beams of black energy come out of its eyes at you.
Excuse
Clive.
me.
What?
That is a natural 20. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's fine.
Oh, it's the first time Mark rolled a 20.
And
Second.
you all remember my lovely crit rolls is my second time, which means max dice, and then roll the dice again.
You know what I'm hearing? Your crits don't matter. My crits matter.
This is the Mark Hulmes revenge episode.
Oh
He
my
goes,
god.
Fuck you,
This
bro.
is
My
bad.
crits matter.
That's fine.
This is 44 points of necrotic damage.
Necrotic?
So the beam hits you in the chest, Clive, and you just feel it trying to not just burn your flesh, but almost trying to sear your very soul as this beam kind of hits you. All that darkness that you've been feeling around you seems to condense like a heaviness in your chest. And yeah, you just feel like this, as it strikes you with this beam.
Oh, fuck that then.
And then that's its turn. It's used pretty much all of its movement, and it's kind of just hovering in the air. It's flapping its wings, holding Tarkhal in its grip. Azara.
Yeah. Question. Does this thing seem undead?
It is hard to tell. It is shadowy.
Right.
Its feathers almost have an umbral essence to them.
Right.
It is difficult to tell
Right.
what is a creature is undead, but
Right.
you are welcome to think it is.
Well, first, before we get into undead nonsense, I am going to hasten my spell. I'm going to do that real quick.
So quicken spell.
I'm
So you
going
can
quicken
cast
to
as a
spell.
bonus action.
Yep.
So 2 sorcery points.
2 sorcery points. And first off, I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at the 3rd level.
Okay.
Step. It's going to be a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Dope. Then that is 4d6 at the 3rd level.
So this is the first
nope,
level guiding bolt.
66.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you cast it at high level. Yes, so
2,
66.
3, 4, 5, 6. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 points of radiant damage.
20 points of damage. So Azara, you summon and you feel the winds seem to build up around you. You can feel this divine energy swelling around you as you remember that tenant from Adri herself, as this golden swirling wind seems to appear in your hands, and then you launch it forwards. The beast tries to swerve, but the light almost spreads out like currents in the wind, and as it pierces through its body, it lets out this incredible shriek. It takes far more damage from that attack than what you think it should, as the light seems to burn its feathers. Its very essence seems to be burnt away by these streaks of golden light as it does so.
Which means that my next attack roll made against this target before the end of my
It
turn.
is the next attack roll made against it. It's not yours. It's whoever
just
makes
the
an
next.
attack roll. Yeah.
Before the end of my next turn. But I still have an attack roll.
If you want to cast a cantrip,
spell.
yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cast Firebolt on it.
Okay, you have advantage for the attack roll.
Dope. That's a nat 20.
Dang.
So,
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, well, great. So what's the dice? What's the damage on it?
That's 2d10, so 20.
So it's 20 plus 2d10.
Plus 2 more d10. Oh my gosh.
It's the crit
awesome.
rules.
Plus 7, plus 9. What's 7 plus
so
9?
that's 16, so 36 points of damage. So in this storm of magic, Azara's guiding bolt streaks through it, and then with the other hand, this kind of flaming red. And as the flame launches out of your hands, by the way, it is not red; it is blue.
Weird.
This blue flame launches out. It doesn't seem to maybe have quite the effect you were hoping.
Right.
There is some resistance to that.
Okay.
As it kind of burns through. But yeah, the blue flame does definitely strike it, and it kind of calls out as you strike it.
But I did notice that the radiant damage hurt it a lot more.
It was harming it on a greater level than just the energy itself. That it was affecting its very essence. It is vulnerable to radiant damage.
Yeah, yeet.
Clive, if you are done, Azara, unless you'd like to move.
Let me look at our handy D20 or Roll20 map.
Yeah. So it's currently hovering about 15 feet or 10 feet away from the bridge's edge.
Okay.
Above in the air, and it's 100 feet.
And I'm
long.
only 10 feet away from friends.
You're 10 feet from Azara and 15 from Clive.
All right. I think I'm just gonna get a little bit closer to Agnis. Just
Sure.
just to kind of be a united front.
Group up. No, I like it. Yeah, keep grouping up. Clive.
How far up in the air is it flying?
It is not. It's kind of perpendicular to the. No, actually, it could have gone diagonal movement. So it'd be 20 feet up, and about 10 feet out from the side of the bridge, basically. So there's 10 feet of air, but you also have to go about 20 feet up.
Okay. Now, as a cat person,
Yes.
how jumpy can I be, DM?
Do you have any special jumpy abilities, like racial traits?
It would be under that dark vision claw.
But he's a kitty meow meow.
no.
He should be able to.
No. So what it is
meow.
then instead, Nate? What's your strength score?
19.
Okay, so as long as you can get a 10-foot run up, so as long as you can move 10 feet before you jump, you can go 19 feet out. So you could jump 19 feet across or 10 feet up. is your long jump and your high jump.
And he's
so
15
you are
feet up.
you can get to where it is, but it's going to be above you when you jump.
Oh, that's no fun then. Okay, so I would like to rage.
So give me that wild magic. Give me that wild rage.
All right. What is that? Magic infuses one weapon of your choice that you are holding. So that's fun.
That's fun.
The weapon's damage type changes to force, and it gains the light and thrown properties with a normal range of 20 feet and a long range of 60. If the weapon leaves your hand, the weapon reappears in your hand at the end of the turn. Cool.
You just got the most perfect roll for what we're fighting.
Throwing Morningstar?
Yeah.
You mean Thor's hammer, but morning.
It's perfect. But the only thing to remember is when you throw it, it doesn't come back until the end of your turn. So you'll only get one attack with it if you throw it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to... So then I'm going to run up with my Morningstar and just like start spinning with it.
Like a shot put. Yeah. So also when you see Clive kind of like this, he like tenses and this multicolored aura of magic. And in the dimness, there is like it's not as vibrant as it was before, but you see this swirling sea of magic coalesce around his leonine form. And then it just gets sucked into his weapon, which begins vibrating and glowing with this energy as he spins and throws it through the air.
And I would also like to yeet recklessly.
You may yeet recklessly.
Cool. So
The only way to eat, honestly.
True.
Okay, so
Who
that's
eats with care.
That's not it.
Antithetical.
It
No,
is.
for the advantage.
21.
That does hit. Yep. The
Cool.
Morningstar spins through the air.
So it
Clips
just
it in the wing.
I read that, but I forgot it. Did it add damage, or is it just changes
It's just
the damage?
force damage. It doesn't add any extra damage, I don't believe.
Okie doke. So then that will be 10 damage.
10 points of damage. Is that including your rage bonus? Because D&D Beyond doesn't add that.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
What
you
is
get
it? Plus
3
3,
damage.
so 13.
13. Perfect. And that's force damage. So where the fire seemed to be less effective, the mace punches through this creature's like umbral feathers and shadowy form, and it definitely like it kind of gets thrown back. And then as the Morningstar begins to tumble, you hold out a big paw, and it just snaps back into the hand at the end of your turn.
That's great. Love this. Love this for me.
Anything else, Clive? Movement? That's at the end of your turn, really. So I guess that's it. Tarkhal.
When the bird gets hit, does it loosen its grip at all? Like
It does not. It is holding onto you tight. So, for your benefit, Tarkhal, you are currently restrained, which means you have your speed is 0. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and your attacks have disadvantage. You have disadvantage on dex saving throws. You can use your action to try and escape. So you make an acrobatics or an athletics check to try and escape the grab.
I will make an acrobatics check, which is a +4. And I have disadvantage though, right? So I have to roll twice?
No, that's on attack rolls, not on...
Oh, okay, cool.
So
I thought I heard the word dex. Ugh. 9 + 4, 13.
Is not enough. You're trying to squeeze and writhe, but you can't break this thing's grip. It's got you tight in its talons. One wrapped around an arm, one wrapped around your torso. You're just... You can still attack, but you have disadvantage.
All right, I'll try to stab him. It's like... Hold on. I'm going to cast Command.
Okay.
And they must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw.
What is your DC?
16.
16. What's the command?
I get to give a 1-word command, so I need to figure out exactly what I want to say to it.
You gotta give it to me now.
Can we help him?
Return.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. You're so smart.
Return.
I feel like it's gonna just fly off with me somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay. And that's on its turn. It has to obey that command. Right?
Let me see. The spell has no effect. Target is undead. Oh, the spell has no effect if the target is undead.
Okay. It doesn't work.
Okay.
The command just doesn't seem to affect it.
Well, probably a good thing in the long run. So I guess my turn's over.
So that's your action. Yeah. Nothing else.
Is it?
All right. Agnis Crownsilver. You see your brother being held by this thing. It looks injured. Like the burns from Azara's magic and Clive's Morningstar have definitely wounded it. But yeah, it is holding your brother out in the open air.
My brother it looks to me like he is within 15 feet of the bridge, right?
He is, yes, 15 feet of the bridge from where his current position is. He's kind of being held in the middle of this thing.
So I send Candor out into the ravine to perch on my brother's shoulder and cast Firey Teleportation and boop him back onto the bridge.
Okay,
and
so how does Firey Teleportation work? Is it
I will read it to you.
Yeah,
the spirit and each willing creature of your choice within 5 feet of it teleport up to 15 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Each creature within 5 feet of the space that the spirit left must succeed on a dex saving throw or take 1d6 plus 4 fire damage.
Okay, all right. So I will make the saving throw for the beast. It fails the saving throw. So Candor flies open, this kind of flickering blue flamed bird, lands on your shoulder, Tarkhal, and then if you are willing, which I'm assuming Tarkhal is, you watch as it explodes in flames, and then he teleports back to the very edge of the bridge, and this flame erupts around. How much damage?
7.
7 points. Okay.
And then for my action, I shall shoot it with a longbow.
Okay.
I roll 15.
The arrow does try and it hits the creature's feathers, but it has no effect. It doesn't hit the armor class.
All right.
The kind of umbral form seems to just absorb it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well
I
done.
already did the cool thing, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that was awesome.
On its go, it looks in Azara's direction, and it seems these eyes glow with that red hatred, and it's going to fire this beam at Azara.
I understand.
For a 21.
Yeah, that hits. Yeah.
So that is this
Yeah, I
much
get it.
necrotic damage for Azara. That's 16 points of necrotic damage to Azara.
Yeah, I understand.
It then swoops in, does not like its prey being taken away, and tries to grab Tarkhal again.
No.
That's going to be 24 to hit Tarkhal.
Yeah.
That is going to be 12, 17 more points of slashing damage.
Okay, I'm not. Is this its first attack this turn?
It is its first attack this turn against you. Yeah,
I'm just gonna take it all. Take it all.
You're going to take it all? Okay. It then pecks at Clive with its beak because it has a reach of 10 foot.
Bring it.
That's going to be 28 to hit Clive.
Hey.
So now you're raging, yes, because this is piercing damage. So this will be
Right.
halved. That's going to be 9. So that's 14. So half to 7 for you, Clive.
Ha!
Tarkhal, you were grabbed again when its claws got you, by the way. And then it flies under the bridge.
Attack of opportunity.
You do get an attack of opportunity. Yep. All 3 of you would if you wish to make them, but it does have to be a melee attack.
I
I
wanna
punched it
make one.
again.
Sure.
Dirty 20.
That hits, Clive. That does not hit Agnes. You're 13 to hit.
Ah!
That would be, I can math, 6.
6 points. Okay.
Does a 14 hit?
Is your Morningstar magical? It's force damage, isn't it, at the moment?
And it did
Yes.
get infused with magic, it said.
It did, yeah. Sorry, Azara, what was that?
14 hit?
That does not hit. You also swipe. You and Agnes desperately try and grab this thing. It swoops in, like it's biting at Clive as it grabs Tarkhal in its talons. It pulls away. Clive swipes at it. You guys rush forward, and then it just kind of spins in the air, ducks under, and flies under the bridge.
Coward!
Yeah, and it basically hovers there for a second. So it's you guys can't see it where you are currently. You might be able to like dangle yourselves over the side of the bridge to see it, but right now it's like hovering underneath the bridge exactly. Does it want to? No, it can get another peck in it. It probably thinks it can probably eat you safely down here. Azara.
It's my turn.
it is your turn.
I'm on the edge of the bridge.
You are on
side.
one edge of the bridge, yes.
Can I lean over and yeet some radiant damage under the bridge?
You can try to. This thing, if you're just kind of leaning over, like if you're not like hanging off from a rope like completely under it, this thing has 3/4 cover against any attacks from up on the bridge.
I was not expecting this.
So you can hear like
I have a feeling it would succeed this. I don't know if this is a smart idea.
Well,
but I'm gonna try it anyway.
That's the best kind of move.
I'm going to hasten my spell again.
Okay, so another 2 sorcery points, quicken spell.
We're gonna do that real quick. Need to mark that down. Okay. Can I do my cantrip first, or do I have to do my spell first?
You can do your cantrip first.
Cool. I would like to try and lean as much as possible, which is safe, over this bridge, and I would like to lightning lure this bird.
What's the range on lightning lure? Because this thing is kind of floating several feet under the bridge as well.
15.
I'm going to say that the bridge itself is like 10 foot like thick.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be in range of the lightning lure.
Okay, then
so it's like maybe 20 feet from like top of bridge to where it is.
Okay, then if I knew that, I wouldn't have hastened the spell because I wouldn't have done that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You can take those back. Yeah, that's my bad for not explaining it.
No worries. No worries. Okay, then I will just take a chance. I'm just gonna
take a chance on me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot it.
With what?
I'll do a second level guiding bolt.
Okay, go for it.
Might as well. No, I so take that back because I think, can my elemental spirit fly?
I don't know. I don't think it can, but
Air,
it does.
An air spirit can hover.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna summon an air spirit.
Okay. So that's your action to summon the air spirit, yeah?
Yes, it is. My action to summon the air spirit. So I summon a little air boy.
Okay.
It looks like a cloud dragon.
It's conjure elemental spirit, isn't it?
Summon elemental spirit.
Summon elemental spirit.
Yes, and it says that speed is 40 feet, air only, hover.
Okay. So this is if you choose the air form, it has the flying speed. Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So you summon that?
Yes, and now that is my turn. So now it is his turn.
Okay.
And he's gonna fly on over to the bird and he gets to smack it.
Okay.
He gets a multi-attack. Number of attacks equal to half the spell's level rounded down, which is level 4. So he gets 2 attacks.
Okay.
And I have his stats right here.
Yep.
Which to hit is +8. 16 + 8. That hits.
That will. So if it's flying next to him, that hits. Yes.
Okay,
Sorry,
cool.
I'm trying to cover a lot of things.
Damage is 1d10 + 8, which is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points of damage for the first one.
What type of damage is that?
Bludgeoning.
Okay, so it seems semi-resistant to this, like not being magical energy. It kind of is buffeted, but it still hits and does damage.
And
Tarkhal, you feel like this thing being jostled around as you're now sort of wrapped up in its talons.
And then second attack, he gets another attack. 11 doesn't hit, does it?
It does not.
Then that's all I can do for right now.
All right. We'll try and speed through this so we can get to the end of the combat. Clive.
Okay, so it's under the bridge. How far down is the water under the bridge?
About 100 feet.
Okay. You say he's 3/4 covered. What is not under cover? You said the bird's partially covered?
Yeah, well, so it has 3/4 cover. So any attacks from up on the bridge, it has like a bonus to AC and Dex saving throws from, because you can see parts of it, but it has better defenses against any attacks from up on the bridge.
Right, but I'm asking because do I see a part I could land on?
You can certainly try.
What would that
Athletics check.
Okay, cool.
Because you have the distance to jump it. Like you could easily just like leap off the side and try and grab onto its beak or its head or something. But it's going to be how well you can grab it as you fall.
Gonna try and dig those claws in and land on it.
Sure.
Ooh, it's high.
That's good.
22.
22. You these big kitty paws thump on the stone. You leap over it, kind of like vaulting over the side of the bridge, and you just free fall for a few seconds. And then you just grab onto this mass of black furs. You're hanging around its neck. Its beak is and you're just like holding on.
Don't worry, lad. We'll get you out soon there. And I'm gonna take a stab at it with my morning.
Sure,
star.
yeah. Yeah, I'd say maybe make one attack against it this round because like the grabbing is like partially in action, and then I'll give you like a free kind of like with a mace of the Morning Star.
Sweet. With this, could I still be reckless with it? This all seems reckless.
This is reckless.
All right, great. All right, so that the first one is a 21. Let me just see if I crit.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
21 hits.
All right, so
no cover anymore, so I'm just going to move Clive over here as well.
Yep. And that's so. Let's see that. Ooh, 6. 13 damage.
13 points. Okay, and you do still have infused weapon. Fantastic. So yeah, unless there's a bonus action, that's pretty much your turn done, Clive. I think.
I'm going to, as my bonus action, daunting roar right in its face. And it has to make a wisdom saving throw 16 or be frightened because I don't want it down here. So who knows what's going to happen.
It is. So you let out this roar and something shakes this bird, some primal thing. Maybe it is undead, maybe it's a spirit, but it still has this form of this beast. And in the face of a predator, it begins to panic and it wants to get away from you, but you're holding on to it. And it's like shaking its head. It is frightened. It has the frightened condition.
That'll be it.
Okay. Tarkhal then. We'll try and speed through these.
Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and try to stab it with my dagger. Actually, first I'll try to escape. I'll try to escape.
Okay, so if you escape, that's your action. You don't get to attack again. If you try to escape, that's your whole action.
I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna try to kill it. I'm gonna try to hit my
disadvantage on the attack roll.
Oh, that'll be great. 12 plus 8 is dirty 20, and then a 20. I wasted a 20, so dirty 20
does still hit. Technically, you have an ally within 5 feet because Clive is there.
Do it, lad.
He's holding on like this.
Did that
we go over
little kitty paws, little back kitty paws.
It did show up, yeah.
Okay.
So that's 7 normal damage and then 16 sneak attack for 23 total.
Cool.
So you reach up and with Kiss of Silver, you plunge it into the side of this this feathered body, and the magic dagger slides in, and you feel it buckle. And it's just in this freak out panic as it desperately tries to pull free. Anything else, Tarkhal?
No, that's it.
All right, Agnis. And then that will be us wrapped up.
I'm going to... It looks like they've got it, right? Like...
It looks heavily injured now. It's free. It's in a panic.
I'm sorry.
Clive is holding on to it.
I've never remembered about this, but I've had Patron's Wrath, and I want to deal an extra 4 damage of whatever element my patronage is, because I don't know what my patronage is.
Right, you don't know, do you?
But I get 4 extra damage of whatever that is, and I've been forgetting.
And it's 4 damage.
4 damage.
It's 4 damage.
Because it's my proficiency. My proficiency is +4.
That kill it.
So you watch. Clive sees this. As Tarkhal stabs the knife into it, the brooch that he wears on his cloak, this deep green emerald, flashes. Something flashes in it, Clive, but you're too reckless and raging to see what it is. Nobody else sees what it is. There's just something flashes, and this thick green mist pulls from the blade and spreads into the stab wound and begins to pulse through this thing's body, turning its, like, whatever flesh and body you can see begins to rot and decay away. And as its form collapses, Clive and Tarkhal drop and begin to free fall as it is no longer holding you up. And that is where we will end today's episode.
Oh, I love that. You know what stinks is that Agnis could have gotten us back again with like another teleportation. Had that 4 damage
Well, I
not
don't.
killed.
Can she do that again, or is there a recharge on it? I think there's
I can do it again.
Oh, you
I can do it
again?
every turn. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well,
had
they're
to
20
get those
feet,
extra 4 hit
they're-
points in.
but they're 20 feet
saw-
below as well. They might be just out of reach of the teleport, I think. So, because it's 15 feet, right? It's a 15 feet teleport.
It is 15 feet, but can I reach down 5 feet and grab their hand?
Well,
okay.
maybe one of them. Maybe one of them. We'll see next week.
There's a
Save
giant
him.
air elemental spirit, guys. We're good.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
Maybe
true.
we'll find out next week.
Giant dragon.
We'll find out next week. But yeah, real quick, very quick shout out to Mica. Go.
Find my things at Mica Burton. Also, watch me play Diablo stuff with the Critical Role people, BlizzCon on the 20th, something like that. I don't know. Okay, Anna, go.
You can find me at Anna Prosser everywhere, or my dog Happy Niski. I have extra brains this week. We're going to be talking about constructive criticism, how to give it and take it, as well as thoughtful gift giving. And I forget everything else. I choose Nate.
Me and Shady and some other friends might be streaming some Minecraft Pokemon tomorrow. Shady, go.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we will be doing that. Also, follow me on Twitter at ShadyPenguinn because you'll find everything out there. And also, right after the stream, I'm tweeting out a hilarious clip of me losing over 20 hours in Minecraft Survival Hardcore mode. So that was fun. Mark, go.
Oh, that Minecraft hardcore. I know that too well. You can check out my normal D&D show, High Rollers D&D. It's pretty much on every platform. High Rollers D&D, Twitch, Twitter, everywhere, podcast, all of that stuff. We stream on Thursdays and Sundays. Come and check that out. I also stream on my own personal Twitch, Sherlock_Hulmes. Next week, I'm going to be doing a special one-to-one D&D session with a very cool and lovely streamer. It's going to be chaotic as heck. Hopefully it doesn't change, but I'm going to be doing a one-to-one D&D with Code Miko on both hers and mine Twitch. So you can come and check that out next Wednesday. That's it. Take care. Enjoy. We'll see you all soon. We got to go. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.